Good morning, friends. We woke up and broke camp around 6 this morning, and now we are hanging out down by Strawberry, Arizona at the Bob Bear Trailhead, going down to Fossil Creek. So this is like the hardest way to hike this creek pretty much. It's only recommended for experienced people to go early in the morning, and basically they close this trailhead down entirely in July because it's just too warm out. So we're getting in a little bit under that wire. It's beginning of June right now, and we're gonna be hiking around 10 miles, and it's 3,000 feet of elevation change in total. So 1,500 down, 1,500 up. They take the search and rescue risks here really seriously. As they say right here, 490 hikers were rescued in Fossil Creek in 2015 and 2016 with 4 fatalities. So there are a lot of people that go and attempt this very unprepared. As they say up here, don't be a statistic, guys. It's important that you keep your own safety at the forefront of your mind when you go on an adventure like this. Don't just hike for the photo, hike for more than just that, and respect the area. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about this, the Fossil Creek Wilderness and Fossil Creek as we make our way down there, because we have about 4 miles before we even hit water. We literally are going to be hiking down a canyon, and then at the bottom of that canyon is the headwaters of Fossil Creek. So friends, we've probably gone about half a mile down the trail, and here's another sign saying about how 200 people per year have to be rescued from down here. So it's kind of crazy. They give you a bunch of warnings, but yet still there are a lot of people who end up in trouble out here. And I know in my few trips here, I've seen people hiking down here completely unprepared. And here's like a whole sign about the rules.
4 to 6 hours.
Yeah, because the road got washed out that originally takes people down there. So rescues right now have to be done on foot on this trail. So it will take a long time to actually come and rescue you. So anyway, as I was saying, the few times that I've been down here, I've seen people hiking that are really not prepared and ready for this hike. I've seen people hiking in just flip-flops, people just carrying big 40 ounces of beer, no water. It's a little bit frightening when you see something like that. So this isn't a hike that you can take lightly. It's definitely a bit of a challenge, and you definitely need to be prepared. The Fossil Springs Wilderness was designated under the Wilderness Act with the passing of the Arizona Wilderness Act of 1984 in August of that year. This piece of legislation also designated other well-known wildernesses in the state, such as Four Peaks and the Superstition Mountains, under some of our country's strongest land protection laws. So friends, in order to hike in this area, it's actually required to have a permit from the recreation.gov website. And they release permits on a rolling basis. I think it's 2 months ahead of time or something like that. So like now it's June, I would be able to get permits for August, I think. But anyway, you really need to follow that permit system because people have misused this resource so much over the years. They've had to put use limits on it. And it's sad to see that. Actually, when I was a really young Boy Scout, one of my first backpacking trips was to this area where we're going. But now you're no longer able to overnight it during the high season when it's warm and comfortable enough to swim. So it's really important to follow the guidelines, to respect the resource here, and to be sure that you don't get a ticket, because you need to go through like a checkpoint with a ranger where they check your permit, they check your tags, that it matches up with your license plate, all this stuff. It's only like $6, so it's not like you're paying an arm and a leg. It's $6 for one car, so it's really not bad. But
Up to 5 people.
yeah, you get up to 5 people in that $6. So it's definitely not hard to follow the rules, but it's really important to follow them. So be sure you respect your forests. All right, friends, we're now sort of in the bottom of the canyon now, the intersection of the, ooh, a little rocky here, of the Mail Trail and the Fossil Springs Trail. So we just came down the hillside here. We're headed that way. Adventure awaits, friends. We're almost to the water.
Don't litter.
So friends, we finally got down to the bottom of the valley, and there's a split in the trail. One goes to the spring, one goes to the dam. So we went to the spring first. And look at this water right here. It is literally bubbling out of the ground. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. Literally gushing out of the ground. Some of the clearest, cleanest water. And it's extremely cold, like all the time, all year round. So swimming definitely takes a little bit of courage, but it's definitely worth it. These waters, I swear they're healing or something, man. So we're probably gonna hang out here for a little bit and then head on down to the dam, which is really the highlight down here. Here we go. So friends, here's the Flume Trail. It comes in from the lower part of the canyon, and you have to get permits from down there from Coconino National Forest instead of Tonto National Forest here. So this huge dam that we're standing next to is actually the very first hydroelectric dam in Arizona. It was built in 1917 and has since been destroyed to restore this creek to its natural glory. Fossil Springs is actually one of the main tributaries into the Verde River, which is one of the main water supplying rivers for the valley. So this area is actually highly protected, and since the removal of this dam, it has been declared a national wild and scenic river by Congress, which means it has special protections that mean there can be no dams built on it and like no permanent human structures on it.
Can you also not fish on it?
I think you can fish on it, but it's usually catch and release. That might have been our turn. So it just has special protections for this area because it is so important to Arizona and our water here, as well as our biodiversity. I mean, look at how much different life there is throughout this valley. So many different species of trees and different shrubs And trust me, there are a bunch of insects too. We've been getting dive bombed the whole hike. The National Wild and Scenic Rivers System was created by the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act of 1968, which was enacted by the U.S. Congress to preserve certain rivers with outstanding natural, cultural, and recreational values in a free-flowing condition for the enjoyment of present and future generations. Fossil Springs became the second national wild and scenic river in Arizona when the Fossil Creek Wild and Scenic River Act was signed into law by President Obama in 2009, shortly after the removal of the diversion dam in 2008. The other wild and scenic river in Arizona is the river that Fossil Creek feeds, the Verde River, which was designated in the previously mentioned Arizona Wilderness Act of 1984. Fossil Springs emits upwards of 20,000 US gallons per minute that flow into the creek year-round. Calcium carbonate precipitates from the 72-degree water from the springs, creating travertine dams and deposits for several miles downstream. About 12 tons of travertine per day are deposited along the stream. Fossil Springs' perennial water supply supports one of the most diverse riparian ecosystems in the state, supporting more than 30 species of trees set among native desert shrub. 200 species of birds, mammals, reptiles, and amphibians call this place home. Wildlife such as deer, elk, javelina, coyote, skunk, raccoon, ring-tailed cat, fox, mountain lion, black bear, and native fish species can be found here. This includes some special status species such as the southwestern willow flycatcher, the Chiricahua leopard frog, and the critically endangered razorback suckerfish. It is believed that humans have inhabited this area for as long as the past 10,000 years. Hello friends, now just leaving the bottom of Fossil Springs, filled up with water from the spring, and I'm gonna start heading out. Luckily some more cloud cover came in, so we're gonna try and take advantage of it. We had a nice meal and some snacks down at the bottom, and we hung out for a few hours just swimming, splashing around. There were a lot of people though, so we kind of split off and found a spot to ourselves. It was nice. Got some good video from it here. It's just a beautiful area. Talk to you guys soon. Well friends, it's begun to rain on us as we began our ascent up and out of the canyon. I'm glad that I'm not still down there. This is just to remind you guys, the safety precautions you need to take for an area like this are definitely something to consider. Today it was a 10% chance of precipitation maximum, and obviously that 10% came true. So flash floods are definitely still a risk for this area, on top of the various risks associated with exposure out here. So if you do this hike, be sure to plan ahead and be safe. Friends, we're finally almost out. If you see the banding like all the way down here, that's where we were earlier this afternoon. That's where we started our hike out from. Now we have probably about 1 more mile left, straight uphill. Oh, and there's sweat in my eye. The pain. But we're almost out. It's been a really great hike, and the weather's been just awesome. We were really worried that we were going to get fried by the sun, but the clouds have persisted, except from when we were in the water, which is absolutely amazing. So definitely lucked out today. It's been a great day. Thanks for coming along on the adventure, friends. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you're here for future adventures. Take it easy.